Hi, I'm Dr. William Pleau of Health Touch Chiropractic in Tigard, Oregon. The purpose of this video is to explain genetic variant analysis and how it can be used to help you meet your personal health goals and those of your family. Genetic variant analysis has become very popular in the medical field in the past 10 years. It is used to identify carrier status for classic genetic diseases such as sickle cell anemia. It is used to better understand a person's risk factors for developing common chronic diseases, such as cardiovascular disease or different types of cancer. It is used to determine which class of drugs a person will respond best to. And it is used to identify a person's individual nutritional needs, to be sure the foods you eat and the supplements you take are exactly what your body needs. At Health Touch Chiropractic, we utilize genetic variant analysis along with other laboratory tests to identify not only which foods may be problematic for you, but also which specific nutrients may be in higher demand in your body for normal cell function. To better understand the relationship between genes and nutrition, we need to talk a little bit about basic biology. Now, this may get a little detailed, but if you sit tight through the nerdy part, I think you will be very excited to learn about how this new technology can be applied to help you feel better and get more of what you want out of your life. In the center of your cells is a structure called the nucleus that contains your DNA. The DNA is like an extremely long spiral ladder that is broken into 46 chunks called chromosomes, each of which is twisted and wound up in very complex patterns that allows this incredibly long molecule to fit inside the cell. Each of the rungs on the ladder is made up of two paired molecules called nucleotides. There are 4 different nucleotides that can be arranged into pairs, and the sequence of those nucleotide pairs comprises the information stored in the DNA. The human genome contains about 3 billion nucleotide pairs organized into about 21,000 genes. The word genome is used to describe the entirety of information contained in all the genes of a given organism. A gene is a sequence of nucleotide pairs that the cell uses as a set of instructions for building a certain protein. A protein is a large, complex molecule made up of a long chain of amino acids that folds and twists in specific ways. Proteins form the structures that make up our cells and tissues, and they are also the machines that the cells use to do all the things they do, from producing movement to catalyzing biochemical reactions. Proteins that catalyze chemical reactions are called enzymes. Now, nutrients are vital molecules that perform specific functions in the body. Some nutrients are the products of chemical reactions performed by the cell, and others must be acquired in our food. Many enzymes need certain nutrients in order to do their work, so you can think of nutrients as fuel for your proteins and enzymes. A good example of a vital nutrient is something called ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. ATP is a very high energy molecule that is used by the cell to power many different enzymatic reactions and other protein functions. Every cell needs to make ATP, and cells that don't make it don't survive. So cells use many different metabolic pathways or chains of related and interdependent reactions, all leading to the generation and recycling of ATP. ATP is vital because it is used by so many different enzymes to provide the energy that those enzymes need to do their work. The creation of ATP unfortunately results in the generation of a harmful molecule called a free radical. Free radicals, sometimes called reactive oxygen species, are molecules that have an unpaired outer electron, so they are highly reactive and will rip the electrons off any other molecule they encounter. Free radicals bounce around your cells, colliding with cell structures and causing damage. Over time, free radical damage accumulates to the point where the cell is no longer viable and it will die. This is called the free radical theory of aging. So cells use strategies to attempt to neutralize reactive oxygen species and reduce free radical damage. These strategies consist of nutrients and enzymes that are termed antioxidants. Now, I want to talk about something called genetic variance. No two individuals are exactly alike, and this is due to variation in the genes. The exception to this, as you know, is in the case of identical twins. Variations in the genes account for differences in physical and personality characteristics, but they can also change how we run our cell chemistry. Some genes code for enzymes that are an important part of how we build and utilize nutrients, generate ATP, manage free radical damage, and detoxify our body. When we have variants in these genes, they may cause problems with these processes. The end result in many cases is inflammation, which is the common denominator in virtually all chronic diseases, from degenerative arthritis to heart disease, autoimmune diseases, and cancer. So when we understand a person's individual combination of genetic variants, we can better determine what their individual nutritional needs are. For example, this chart shows variations along the FUT2 gene, which is important for our ability to maintain a healthy population of gut bacteria in our intestine. Each of these 2's represents an abnormality present on both copies of the chromosome that contains the FUT gene. These variants impact function of the gut and can potentially lead to a depletion of the healthy gut bacteria, which can lead to inflammation, immune system dysregulation, and disease. By comparison, the person on the right, person B, has very few variants in the FUT2 gene. What this tells me is that the person on the left is going to have a greater need for probiotic supplementation and will be more susceptible to not only gut-related problems such as irritable bowel, but he or she is also more prone to immune challenges such as chronic infections and autoimmune conditions. Another good example is the SOD2 gene, which codes for an enzyme called superoxide dismutase. Superoxide dismutase, or SOD, is the body's most important antioxidant defense. It neutralizes the most potentially damaging free radical, superoxide. As you can see here, both of these people have variants in these 3 nucleotide pairs in the superoxide dismutase gene. They both need antioxidant support, but the person on the bottom needs it much more severely. This is really important because of the role of oxidative stress in the development of degenerative disease. This genotype, person B, represents an increased risk for the development of degenerative conditions, not only musculoskeletal conditions like osteoarthritis, but even neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and ALS. They've all been linked to oxidative stress. Antioxidant function and the function of the gut represent only a tiny fraction of the many different aspects of health that we investigate here at Health Touch Chiropractic. Our genetic variant analysis includes insights into gut health, cellular energy and ATP production, antioxidants and detoxification pathways, neurotransmitter metabolism, which affects mood and cognition, and many other vital areas of cell and body function. It looks deeper into the why behind the disease process so that interventions can be customized to the individual, meticulously designed to provide the body with exactly what it needs to correct and restore normal cell function. Because that's what it's all about. That's the health touch difference. Whether we are talking about muscles, bones, and joints, or we're talking about organs, hormones, and cell chemistry, our approach is the same. We investigate to determine exactly where is the breakdown in function, and we craft a customized solution to help restore normal function. In everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo, because our nation is in a healthcare crisis that is getting worse every generation. We don't need more diagnoses and more powerful drugs to fix this. We need to change our thinking. We need to learn to work with the body, to restore its normal functions. The thinking that created this problem will never find a solution. We believe in thinking differently. There is a better way, and that is exactly what we are doing at Health Touch. Come join us.